Yeah, another week, another opportunity to go on the road in the SEC in a very difficult environment. Mississippi State has had an extremely challenging schedule. You could argue it's one of the toughest in the SEC this year, and so I don't think their record accurately reflects or depicts the style of football and the team that they are. They're improving every week. I think Coach Lovey's done an excellent job of staying the course. They have clear identity on offense, defense, and special teams. I think offensively, they are very explosive. You look at the wide receiver, Kevin Coleman, who we know well from his time in St. Louis, is dynamic wide receiver, really good route runner, really good yard after catch, is also their punt returner. As challenging a wide receiver as there is in the SEC, in my opinion, I think their running back is playing really well. They've been very effective running the football the last really 4 weeks. And Devin Booth has really given them a lift in the run game, explosive plays, also their kickoff return man. I think the freshman quarterback is a really good player, and he's just getting better and better each week with the reps, the game reps. And so I know they spent the bye week just continually putting it all together defensively, very multiple, do a lot of different things, have a couple of key anchors at linebacker position, with Stone Blanton and it's number 40, Nick Mitchell. I think those guys do a really good job getting them lined up, playing downhill, playing physical. So it'll be a real challenge for our guys. I know the last time we went to Starkville was in 2020 and did not play a good game. Quite honestly, didn't play nearly as well as need to. So it's a very challenging road environment, very challenging game for us. And I know our guys responded well. We had a really good practice yesterday, a great weight session. I know they're looking forward to the challenge and excited about Toughness Tuesday. So with that, I'll open up for questions.
Eli, you mentioned that you guys have responded well. Each time you guys have taken a loss this season, you guys have found a way to bounce back and get a win. What have you liked about your team's responses in these weeks following the loss?
Yeah, I think there's a competitive character. Winning and losing has to matter to you, but you have to be quick to move on, learn the lesson, leave the event. And I think that's something that our guys have embraced, is learn the lessons from the games, but you can't let them drag you down. We've got enough competitive character on this team. We've got enough of upperclassmen that know you can't dwell on the past. You just got to continue to move forward. And I believe our guys are going to do that, and that's the focus.
Coach, when you look back at the South Carolina game and some of the pass explosives that you guys gave up, is that something that you see as more of a scheme thing or an execution thing or a combination? What's kind of the diagnosis there?
Yeah, it was kind of the perfect nightmare for us, to be honest. The first play of the game was a miscommunication. We thought we had a push call on, and the linebacker didn't have a push call on, so it's a three-man situation they had to communicate and leave the guy totally uncovered. And that kind of set the tone. Then we have a corner blitz. It was 2x2 removed, so we had adjusted to the will linebacker, then motion to become a 2x1. It was an oversplit by the X, so if it's an oversplit by the X, then the free safety goes, where technically the rover goes. But the corner had adjusted for him, and so there was miscommunication by the three people on night on the road. SEC can't happen. On that last drive, there was really the last two drives, there was two combinations. There was times where Rush didn't quite get home, and then there were times where on the play that was kind of the big break that they had on the explosive play, we had an edge pressure call, didn't get it really executed the way we needed to. He has too much time in the pocket. And when you're playing man-to-man coverage and a guy motions across the field and then catches the ball on the other side of the hash and the quarterback still has no pressure, that's one-on-one. That's a really tough, long time to hold up. So it's a combination of scheme. Coaches take ownership of that. It's a combination of execution. Players take ownership of that. And you move on. I told our guys yesterday there was a lot of plays we made, the fourth down stops, but we needed one more play on both sides of the ball. We needed a third down execution in the red zone by the offense. We needed one more stop on the reverse and the kickoff coverage, and we needed one more play on defense. So between those three phases, we got to come up with one more play, whether it's a better call by the coaching staff, better execution by the players. At the end of the day, it's all of us.
What has Brady gone through just over the last get himself ready, get healthy,
Yep.
stay as healthy as possible. What kind of window can you give us into what it's been like for him?
I think it's been mentally taxing on him. I think it's been a mental challenge for him to stay positive and have a lot of uncertainty and unknown, but try to do the very best he can every day to try to get as healthy as he can for his teammates and for himself. We're dealing with an injury that, or he's dealing with multiple injuries that aren't fully recovered yet, but, he's choosing to play much like he did several years ago, which you'd expect nothing less from Brady as a leader and a teammate. And I think, for him to make that throw he did to Luther was pretty impressive. He can't quite snap his wrist the way he needs to, which is why some of the balls get left short, specifically the first third down to Theo. But he's a battler, he makes no excuses, and very fortunate to have him leading our team the next 3 games.
What kind of a message does that send to everybody else and kind of through the entire program?
I think it's just a resiliency in what we're playing for, why we're playing for each other.
Coach, these 6 SEC games, team in the first half is scoring 25 points compared to 100 points in the second half. So what do you think has contributed to not being able to get off to faster starts offensively in the first half, but then being able to bounce back in the second half and put up points?
I'm sorry, you're saying that they're outscoring us?
No. I'm saying Missouri's offense put up 25 combined points in the first half in SEC games.
Yeah.
In the second half of those games, we have 100 combined points.
Yeah.
So what's happening that there's a slow start offensively in the first half and then it picks up in the second half?
Yep. I don't have a great response for that. So it's definitely something that we've challenged our guys to be better in the first half, play faster, play with better execution, but obviously it hasn't gotten done. Good job adjusting to keep fighting at halftime though.
Coach Drake Heismeyer slotting in at center against South Carolina, just what do you kind of make of the job he did?
I was really, really impressed and proud of the way he played and performed. I thought, for as good as that defensive front was, for him to keep us on the right IDs, there's only a handful of plays that weren't executed the way we wanted to, but he held up really well, didn't have any snap issues in a very challenging road environment.
Coach, when you look back at the idea of the brotherhood and how you and the players have brought it up so many times in games like Saturday, did you envision it would have the kind of impact and meaning to the program that it does right now?
Honestly, that's why I coach. I thought that would be one of the strengths of our style, is being relational and being intentional and developing a culture and a brotherhood and trying to be less transactional and more intentional in building that. That's what I enjoyed the most about playing the game and kind of what I've always tried to foster, whether it was as a position coach or a coordinator or a leader, is playing for each other and playing for the man next to you. So not surprised that that's where our program is. I'm really blessed and fortunate that we've got coaches like Coach Russell who buy into that stuff too, and our players who believe in it. It was unbelievably cool to have Darius Robinson there, on a bye week, and just the different tweets and texts throughout the game from former players who are watching and are still connected with us and rooting for us.
What are some of you brought in these 2 veteran running backs here in Nate and Marcus. What have you seen them contribute to the younger guys and trying to coach them up and help them this season?
Yeah, I think everybody understands, embrace your role, be a very unselfish player. You have Nate who comes in and provides a spark. Marcus Carroll comes on the goal line and finishes. Keywan Lacey comes in. I thought he did a really nice job providing us a spark right there in the third quarter with some explosive, tough runs. I think, Jamal comes in and does what he does on third downs and in special teams. I think it's just an unselfish room. Starts with Coach Looper, and again, his belief in brotherhood. The game breakers is what that group calls themselves. And so, I think those guys buy into the head coach or to the position coach, and the position coach, continues to give everybody an opportunity to prove themselves.
Coach Keywan Lacey got a handful of touches near the end of that game. Was that something that was maybe a game flow thing, or what kind of role do you foresee for him in these last few games?
Well, the role is what he earns. We had a couple of specific plays that we wanted him in the game for. We had repped him all week. We weren't quite sure how long Nate could go. Nate again did a tremendous job for us, but if Nate couldn't go, those were gonna be key ones plays, cause we felt like we needed a little bit more explosiveness to it. You know, we wanna continue to integrate Keywan into our offense and continue to get him going. So we'll see how that plays out the last 3.
Coach, I think you guys were up to 5 freshmen who earned their red shirt, so
Okay.
what are these guys doing to demonstrate that they're ready to play, especially in these SEC games, late in the season?
Well, it's a combination of things. It's a combination of depth and need and a combination of readiness. And, you know, these guys, a lot of them have contributed on special teams and a couple of other ones just, especially with the injuries that we're dealing with, you know, we need them to finish games. This game, no different. You're gonna play a team that's a high volume offense, you know, can get a lot of plays. And so in order to stay healthy and efficient on both sides of the ball, you gotta have multiple players playing.
Anything else for Coach?
Thank you all.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.